Welcome. In this video, I share advice on how best to succeed in your first year of studies at university. While this video will take more than a few minutes of your time, it will be time well spent. My name is Professor Emeritus Michael DeRobertis. I was a professor of physics and astronomy for over 35 years at a major Canadian university. During my career, I carried out original research in astronomy and astrophysics, contributed to undergraduate and graduate student teaching and supervision, and served in many administrative capacities, including my university senate and its board of governors. No doubt, you spent a great deal of time deciding which university to attend and which program to enroll in. Perhaps your university is among these most sought-after institutions in Canada. In this video, identify the most important academic and administrative challenges you'll likely face at university and provide strategies on how to deal with them. First, a surprise. Success at university depends less on the specific institution and more on you. The challenges you'll face will be remarkably similar whether you attend a modest-sized university noted for its teaching or a larger, more research-intensive university. You're understandably feeling rather apprehensive about what lies ahead. You're likely concerned with the new challenges you'll face and how you'll compare with other students. Relax. Well, at least a little. The combination of a fear of the unknown and a lack of confidence in your abilities is perfectly natural. While this video identifies ways to help you succeed at university, make no mistake, the bottom line is show up and work hard. Attending university as an undergraduate student represents a major step forward in your life. As such, it's important that you first reflect seriously on why you're going to university. The right attitude is critical for success in any venture. This is why I'm asking you to pause this video and ask yourself, exactly why are you going to university? You're back. What did you conclude? If you're like most students, you fit into one of three categories. 1. Like some of your friends, you're unsure of your future and you see university as a way to postpone any decision about a career for a few more years. You're also likely aware that statistically, a post-secondary diploma leads to a higher paying job. 2. You have a clear career path that requires a degree from a specific academic program available only through a university. Or 3, you may be uncertain about an explicit career path at this time, but you recognize that a university education provides an opportunity to broaden your intellectual horizons. From my experience, most students are in the first category. Most parents and governments prefer students in the second category, but professors are most encouraged by students in the third. University is a stepping stone to the rest of your adult life. It provides an opportunity to sit at the feet of some of the world's greatest thinkers, past and present, guided by expert instructors. It is through such experiences that we become more deeply and fully human, satisfying our intellectual curiosity. Few will have such an opportunity after graduation when there'll be added competition for your attention. So use your time at university to become the best person you can be for yourself, your family, and your community. Preparation. My wife likes to say, B+ students run the world. I'm not sure whether she borrowed that from someone else, but this has the merits of being true. Think about it. Who are the best coaches in a professional sport? A former superstar player or a player who had to work hard every step of the way? The latter, of course. The B+ student has had to work hard and be very well organized to achieve her potential. These are invaluable qualifications for almost any position, including success at university, so take note. University is different from high school. University instructors don't normally care if you attend class, only that you hand in all your assignments on time, show up for tests and exams, and don't cheat along the way. There are all kinds of distractions at university that will compete for your time that you didn't have in high school. In high school, a good memory was often a key to doing well. While a good memory is always helpful in life, it is less important for success at university. To succeed at university, you must have the discipline to manage your time wisely. Your priority must be your academic pursuits, though some downtime is important. What I'm trying to get at is that university is not simply a more challenging version of high school, it's a whole new ballgame. Have you heard Woody Allen's line, 80% of success is showing up? He's right. This applies not just to university, but to life in general. One of the biggest mistakes students make, especially in the online age, is skipping in-person classes. After all, why do you need to get up for an 8 a.m. class when the instructor makes the lecture available online in a few days? Makes sense, right? Wrong. Skipping class for the online option leads to poorer performance on average. The bottom line here is that discipline and time management skills contribute significantly to success at university. If you have a recognized disability that can affect your academic performance, you must obtain an appropriate assessment with documentation that is recognized by your university before you can benefit from any accommodations. It is your right to take advantage of accommodations. However, it is your responsibility to file the relevant paperwork before classes begin. Many universities offer transitioning opportunities that are really pre-university preparatory programs in the summer that can be immensely helpful in leveling the playing field for students entering with diverse backgrounds. Among these are pre-university writing or math prep sessions. Success requires good communication skills, whether in English or mathematics, the language of science. Research shows that students who take advantage of preparatory math sessions perform significantly better in all relevant courses than students who do not, all else being equal. University structure. Universities are autonomous institutions regulated by the government that offer degree programs. It helps to know just a little about how a university is structured. In general, a board oversees administrative matters while the Senate governs academic matters at a university, and the president acts as the university's CEO. From the academic perspective, the university is divided into separate faculties or schools like education, law, or science. Each faculty is led by a dean and is comprised of a number of departments, each led by a chair or head. Each department has an undergraduate program chair whom you should become familiar with. A department consists of tenure-track professors representing either the research stream or the teaching stream. All professors are expected to teach and to perform service to their university. Classes are taught by lecturers or instructors who may be professors, part-time faculty members, or teaching assistants, also called TAs, who are usually graduate students. Each department offers a variety of undergraduate programs. An academic program consists of a specified suite of courses from first year, or level 1, through fourth year, level 4, that contains courses administered by your department, but also includes courses offered through other departments that provide foundational support for courses in your department. For example, all science programs require courses in mathematics. Some of these courses are compulsory or mandatory, others are recommended, while still others are elective. Each course designation includes its level and credit or unit value. Most university programs require a few general education courses well outside the major to ensure students receive a more comprehensive education and reinforce communication skills in other contexts. You will likely be assigned an academic advisor in your program. Unfortunately, many students fail to take advantage of their academic advisor. I strongly suggest that you seek your advisor's advice before making any major academic or administrative decisions. First-year courses are given at the introductory level and often have large enrollments. A student in good standing in a particular program is said to be a major in that program, for example, a history major. Upper-year courses are more specialized and will have much smaller class sizes. Students who have fulfilled all the requirements for an approved undergraduate program will be awarded a university diploma at convocation, typically a bachelor's degree or, in gender-neutral terms, a baccalaureate degree. Grades can be awarded in a variety of formats. You're already familiar with percentages and letter grades. But averages can also be given in the form of a standardized grade point. There's a correspondence between percent or letter grade and grade point. Grade point averages, or GPAs, are awarded for each term and cumulatively, the average for all courses to the end of the current term. Be aware that there's a minimum GPA requirement to continue in your program. The university is responsible for maintaining and issuing your transcript, the official record of the courses you've taken and grades earned. In reaction to various pressures, virtually every program at every university now emphasizes the importance of imparting critical thinking skills to students. But what does this mean? Well, in general, critical thinking refers to the ability to analyze or assess information without bias, to make reliable judgments or decisions. Developing mature critical thinking skills is what sets good students apart. The exact nature of these skills can vary from program to program. Universities devote a great deal of attention to the development of good communication skills among their students, written, oral, and digital, as well as other professional transferable skills that are helpful in the work environment, including leadership and team building skills. I think it's helpful to note what some business leaders have written in this context. Quote, "A demonstrated capacity to think critically, communicate clearly, and solve complex problems is more important than a candidate's undergraduate major." Unquote. Couldn't have said it better. Just before classes. Let's approach things chronologically from now through the end of your first year of studies. Just before classes begin, I recommend that students who live at home or off campus visit campus. Take the same transportation route you'll use when classes are in session. Ensure you're familiar with the location of your lectures before the start of classes. It's also important to locate the undergraduate administrative office for your major. In some of the larger institutions, a student may be assigned membership in a college upon enrollment. Colleges encourage a sense of community and provide a more personalized environment for academic and social functions. Most universities offer orientation events just before classes begin. These are often organized by faculty and are designed to give students a crash course with practical information on where to get academic advising and support, the libraries, the location of medical and counseling facilities, how to obtain financial assistance, including part-time job possibilities, options for sports and recreation, that sort of thing. Apart from free food and learning more important extracurricular information, you're also likely to meet one or more like-minded students at these events who may become friends. In-person courses have scheduled lecture times. Lectures are held in a specific learning space. Some courses may also have a regularly scheduled tutorial or help session that may or may not be optional. Tutorial sessions are mainly used to clarify or review the most important concepts covered by the most recent lectures or to introduce enriched topics. These sessions can be overseen by the instructor, but particularly in the case of a large first-year class, tutorials can be split into sections, each of a manageable size and overseen by a TA. Don't ignore tutorials. Online courses can be delivered synchronously, meaning that instructors and students interact digitally in real time, or asynchronously, meaning there is no scheduled meeting time and students access relevant resources at their own pace. Instructors of in-person and synchronous online courses often video record their lectures, which can be accessed later by students from the course website. Instructors in all formats deliver their curriculum in part or exclusively in a series of pre-recorded videos or learning modules. First week. Okay, it's showtime. You've arrived on time for your first lecture. You may be surprised by the size of the hall, but class sizes of many dozens, even hundreds, are commonplace for first-year courses at universities. Where to sit? Wherever you're most comfortable. Avoid areas that are subject to distractions, for example, near a doorway through which latecomers arrive or near the very back of a terraced lecture hall. You should also try to avoid sitting near a student whom you find distracting for whatever reason. It may take a couple of lectures to identify the instructor's idiosyncrasies, whether she faces the left side of the classroom more than the right, before deciding where to sit. Before and immediately after the first few lectures, strike up a conversation with someone in your vicinity, someone who seems similar to you. You may make an academic connection and even a friend. I know this can be challenging, especially for introverts, but this is important. It's not easy making connections in any class, but studies show that a small group environment offers an effective way to learn outside of class and to help prepare for quizzes and tests. You and a couple of nearby seatmates could form the nucleus of a small group that might end up meeting regularly for coffee outside of class, an important step towards academic success. The first class will invariably consist of a curricular and administrative overview of the course. The instructor will provide you with a detailed course description, a syllabus or synopsis, that describes not only the curriculum to be delivered, but also information about the grading scheme, the dates of the major course components, course policies, etc. It's your responsibility to become familiar with these. The course synopsis may also contain links to supplementary resources that could help improve your performance in all your courses. For example, assistance with essay writing or developing strategies to write multiple choice tests, that sort of thing. Due dates and times are taken very seriously at university. Missing a term test or final exam will almost certainly require you to formally apply for a deferment, meaning to request permission to write another test or exam, or to accept a reweighting of your graded material. Unless you have a legitimate reason for missing the due date for a major component of your grade that can be formally documented, you'd expect a failing grade for that component and possibly even the course itself. Respect due dates and things will go well. University is much closer to the real world than most students realize. You must be particularly aware of drop dates for your courses. Most universities publish a date by which a course can be dropped without academic penalty, that is, without appearing on your academic record or transcript. It's always wise to seek counsel from your instructor as well as your academic advisor before dropping a course for any reason. Most programs will allow you to retake a course, in which case the second and presumably higher grade will be used to calculate your cumulative GPA, though both results remain on the transcript. But this is an expensive, time-consuming option, and it's important to be aware that some professional programs use the entire transcript for admissions purposes. Each course will have a web page with which you should become familiar, logging in frequently to ensure you're up to date. Most universities require students to use their university-supplied email addresses when communicating with their instructor. Campus software may reject emails from external email addresses, so if you want to avoid communications problems, use your university email address for all academic work. Pay attention to your netiquette, how you communicate on the internet. Email should be brief, respectful, relevant, and professional in tone. Your digital image is important. I reiterate that students with recognized disabilities should confidentially share the relevant paperwork with all their instructors so they can benefit from approved accommodations such as extra time on quizzes, tests, or exams. First term. You've successfully navigated the first week or two of classes and you're solidly into your first term. Now what? In the heart of the term, there are three main priorities. 1. Show up for class and obey due dates. 2. Make sure you understand each key concept. And 3. Respect academic integrity. 1. Remember the quotation from Woody Allen earlier? Success in life is chiefly about showing up, so go to class. How do you prepare for a lecture? Most lecturers will post lecture materials on the course website. Familiarizing yourself with these resources before each lecture will usually lead to better performance in the course. You will also find it easier to digest key concepts that arise during the lectures. In the same way, taking notes during a lecture, or at least annotating materials provided by the instructor, will also improve your retention of key concepts in the course. Reviewing these notes within a few days after class is advisable. Not only does it improve retention, but it also reduces study time for future tests and exams. This is being intelligently lazy. Don't be lulled into a false sense of security after the first few lectures. Most introductory level instructors use the first couple of lectures to review materials you've likely encountered in high school. Many students decide to slack off at this point thinking, oh, this course is going to be easy. They may even decide not to attend classes, imagining they could catch everything online. Major mistake. By the second week, the pace accelerates and it's all new material. Once you've fallen behind, it is a real challenge to catch up. Some never do. So don't miss any classes and never fall behind. 2. Each section of the curriculum is constructed around a few essential ideas. Instructors normally introduce these ideas in class and develop them through assignments. Few of us grasp all these ideas on first exposure. Success in a course depends critically on understanding these ideas. If, after personal study, discussion with peers, and in a tutorial, you're still uncertain about one or more of the key ideas, approach your instructor via email or during office hours, time set aside each week by a lecturer to allow students to discuss curricular or personal issues in his office. Instructors are paid to answer thoughtful questions, your questions. Be aware, however, that professors like me will not entertain a question during office hours unless and until you have shown some evidence of having thought through the matter. By the way, university instructors do not offer students an opportunity to do work for, quote, extra credit. This is unfair to all other students in the course. If you miss any graded component for a legitimate reason, you will have to provide appropriate documentation promptly in order not to be penalized. 3. All universities have well-defined expectations when it comes to academic honesty. One of the most frustrating things about teaching at university is the number of students who feel compelled to violate the principles of academic honesty, to cheat to get ahead. Being caught cheating on an essay or test, not to mention an exam, can be career-ending. Cheating comes in many forms. Plagiarism is the most common. Plagiarism is pawning off someone else's ideas as your own. Instructors will clarify how to legitimately attribute work from a reference source. Now, the lightest form of plagiarism is simply being lazy. For example, not properly attributing a phrase or sentence you took from a reference source. More serious is lifting whole paragraphs from a reference source, to borrowing your entire essay from elsewhere and attaching your name as the sole and original author on the cover page. This is unethical and is serious enough that it could result in failing the course or perhaps even worse. One of the most infuriating forms of cheating is to abuse AI. While AI applications can be useful for studying and research, using AI on assignments including cutting and pasting without appropriate acknowledgement or permission from the instructor could have serious consequences. Instructors are aware of the most popular internet sites that can effectively help you cheat for a price. If an instructor suspects a student may have used such resources, the website will often share information about the transaction with the instructor if asked directly, leading to a charge of violating academic honesty. There is also sophisticated software that instructors have access to that can detect plagiarism. Students will often be required to submit their work to an analysis by this software before being accepted for grading. A word about copying from a peer. It is always wrong to claim as your own another person's work without attribution. But students who share their original essay or assignment with a friend in the class, quote, to help the friend who is running out of time, unquote, are also complicit and culpable and can suffer serious consequences. What did you think your desperate friend would do with your assignment anyway? Better to set aside some time to discuss the assignment with your friend and emphasize what you learned from your efforts, rather than provide him with a copy of the work you plan to submit. Cheating is the height of hypocrisy if you think about it. Students are the first to complain of being treated unfairly compared with their peers. And yet, what is cheating but an attempt to gain an unfair advantage over your peers? It is also being lazy. Putting in the appropriate effort is the right way to achieve a higher grade without violating your university's academic code, and as importantly, troubling your conscience. Cheating may result in a marginally higher GPA, but how does this help you down the road? Your employer will soon become aware that your performance is subpar, casting a shadow over you and your university. So don't cheat. Your integrity and reputation, so hard to win, are easy to lose. End of term. The end of term will be hectic. You'll be busy with major essays and term assignments, not to mention preparations for upcoming exams during the final exam period. All avoidable non-academic pursuits should be set on the back burner during this time. Exam preparation should proceed just like term test preparation, reviewing the curriculum individually, in small groups, or with the professor. Nearly every student complains about the timing of exams. With a large number of programs and enrollments, it's difficult to ensure that the exams for all programs are reasonably spaced. This is why it's better to be continuously prepared rather than to cram at the last minute. Writing university exams can be daunting. Listen attentively to the proctor's instructions, then read the written instructions carefully on your own as you work through the test. Be especially careful in sections that offer choice. By the way, we have a saying in our home, nothing good happens after midnight. This applies to students who think that all-nighters are helpful. They're not, despite what you may think. Be very clear about the university's policy on missing an exam for a legitimate reason, particularly for a health-related reason. Failure to secure an acceptable physician's note on time, for example, can lead to serious administrative headaches and even failure. After the first couple of terms, a student may come to see her discipline in a different light. Perhaps she may not find the foundational courses nearly as interesting or more or less challenging than she had imagined. Perhaps she found courses in another discipline more interesting than she had anticipated. Whatever the reason, there is no shame in changing your major for the right reasons after careful reflection and discussion with your academic advisor. Those who enjoy their studies and do well in their first year should look out for a voluntary position on campus during the summer or the following academic year, especially if it involves leadership or team-building skills. Such experiences are important for success in upper-year scholarship applications. Well, that's about it. I admit this is a lot to take in at once, but I hope you found this advice helpful. I will provide a link to a document that is somewhat more detailed than this video. Finally, I've prepared a second video in this series with advice for students of faith, though not exclusively so, who may experience additional challenges upon entering university. In it, I discuss how you might engage with peers and even instructors who reject the position that reason can be complementary to an informed faith. Best of luck in your undergraduate career.